Okay, here we go with round 2, back 9 from Gatekeeper Media at the Women's Open of Maryland, edition number 3. I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Addie Maxwell.
Hey, we are at Seneca Creek State Park on a beautiful day in August. This is a part of the Virginia Women's Disc Golf Series, PDGA B-Tier event.
Yeah, Allie Stone and I are the TDs. Prodigy Disc is the title sponsor for this event. They gave us some great plastic, some other goodies, and they've been very supportive of Allie for several years. Our video sponsors are also the Nova Women's Disc Golf Club, the Nova Disc Golf Association, and Rice Properties Group. In particular, we want to thank the Nova Women's Disc Golf Club for their sponsorship for this video. They took on 2 parts of our coverage, and we really thank them for that. They are a big part of what's driving the growth of Mid-Atlantic of women's disc golf.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a great race between Kristen Parsley and Lori Merriman. They are separated by 1 stroke.
With 9 holes to go.
9 holes to go. So here we are on hole 10.
Yeah, this is a course hole 19. We're going to look at 19 through 27 as our tournament holes 10 through 18 in this round. This is a pretty long par 3. A lot of open space, but it has a little bit of a tunnel aspect to it.
Yeah, it comes into play more than you think.
Yeah, gentle slope from left to right. Is this a hole that you're looking to birdie, or are you just trying to, get clean and take your 3?
I am not looking to birdie it personally. I think that some players are, but I don't quite throw far enough. I'm looking to try and do a clean 3, a clean par.
Sure. We saw Lori give a pretty good move on it, and Kristen's going to leak to the right, get tagged down early in the fairway.
Yeah, it's probably lucky that she hit those branches. If she had snuck through the trees, she would definitely be looking at an obstructed upshot.
Yeah. We see Autumn kind of track towards that same tree, huh?
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. That's what you don't want to happen as much.
Most likely a more technical upshot than it would be from the fairway.
Especially when it's in your head that you could have had a clear shot the whole time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm trying to correct from the previous round where I went too far right as well, and I was really happy with how I corrected there.
Yeah, I'd say so. That was splitting the fairway most of the way. In the first 9 of this video, we saw Autumn be able to scramble really well from some awkward positions. She's given herself a chance at the long par putt there as well.
Yeah.
Kristen kind of getting it done by just staying smooth and consistent in the middle.
Yeah, you see that slight uphill, though, as she does end up a little bit short.
Right. And you're kind of doing the same thing there. Were you intimidated by the downslope behind the basket?
I think not necessarily going from there. I think I just wanted to get the right angle on my disc. So having it Anheuser like that and not fade out was important.
Yeah. We see a good honorable run there from Autumn, hitting the top of the basket. So she's going to take a bogey, but it's understandable on this hole. It's a long one to work with.
Yeah, I think it's more challenging than you first expect it to be. I hit some chains there. It would have been nice to get that par, but it was still better than my last round, so I gotta go away happy.
Yeah.
But of course, Parsley hits it.
Yeah, that's pretty good for her, considering that Lori was directly underneath the basket. Everybody's hustling out.
Hopefully you watched all the way to the end of the last round and you saw us all sprint to our tap-in putts. So there Lori was doing the same and lost her balance a little bit.
Yeah, there will be no cookies awarded to any of the commenters who call a foot fault there.
Nope, everything was fine.
All right, so now we're going to play to the same pin position, but from a longer tee from the first round. And this definitely amps up the difficulty. It puts that gap a lot tougher to work with.
Yeah, I think that hitting an angle from farther, like you have to throw a drive that then hits that angle, and that's just added pressure.
For sure. We see both of our leaders kind of hit opposite sides there. Neither punish too badly for it, but it's going to make their threes difficult.
Yeah, and Autumn is again kind of finding some early trees. She did this a couple of times in the first half. But she was always able to recover, so we'll see if she can keep that going.
Yeah. So you're currently in 4th place on the card, and there's 3 spots being paid out. With like 8 holes to go, are you concerned about what other people are doing? Are you concerned about the chase card?
No, because I think that I'm not going into this expecting to win, which I know is not necessarily something that people admit to. But I know that I don't have a great shot against Parsley.
Oh, Lori, look at this.
I mean, and if Lori keeps throwing shots like that, then I don't have a great shot against her either. So I'm just trying to play my best. I know I'm close with Autumn, so I'm trying to maybe compete against her a little bit. But mostly just trying to compete against myself, play my own game, compete to make the right decisions over the bad decisions.
Sure. And you throw a hovercraft instead of a disc there?
I guess so, yeah.
This is a sneaky tough downhill approach. Fast green, but masterfully done there. Very nice speed control.
Yeah, that's, I think, more challenging than the video makes it look.
Yeah, very downhill. And you're going to definitely hang this out to the right.
Yeah.
Trying to get it to just kind of stop on that angle.
Yeah, I know that the hill will do much of the work once I hit the ground.
For sure. And Lori just going to be smart about that.
Yeah, she just goes safe as well. I think she might be aware of her close score with Parsley and is trying to not make mistakes right now.
Yeah, but that was also, 40 feet downhill, and I'm not sure what kind of gap or ceiling shape she was dealing with there.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not time to take a chance. Not yet.
Yeah.
They continue to be one stroke apart from each other.
So now we're going to play actually from a slightly different tee, I believe. And this will be a par 4, definitely playing uphill with a low ceiling. Those are the dominant elements to work with here. And Lori, it looks like she's going to go standstill. Was she concerned about footing or something?
Yeah, everyone was finding that this pad was a bit slippery.
Yeah. The Cedar Farm Disc Golf Club, that's the volunteer group, as that disc, just makes its way back to the fairway.
Somehow,
were y'all looking for it for a while?
No, I think that we saw that it came back out,
Okay.
and we're all like, oh, man.
Yeah, Lori's going to need to just go hug a bunch of trees that she missed. The Cedar Farm Disc Golf Club is really good about, planning ahead and trying to find the best things to do. I know this tee pad is kind of on the list of those that they'd like to pay some attention to. They put in about 9 tee pads a couple years ago during the winter. But it's so much work to keep up with 27 holes, even with the support of the park. So
yeah, that particular area is pretty muddy. So, I mean, no one was upset with them about it. It just, sometimes you get a slippery tee pad.
For sure. And we really appreciate the work that Mr. Bill and all of the other volunteers out there put in. It's folks like that who make the ground level work for disc golf.
So now that we've gotten out of that gap, we're going up the hill, dealing with a little bit of a low ceiling. But so far, we're all dealing with it pretty decently.
Yeah, Parsley tests every bit of it.
I did like Autumn's choice to do a flick drive because there is a bit of a turn in the fairway after that tunnel. So I thought that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, it's shaped so that she's got a lot of room to bail out and get that hyzer finish at the end.
Yeah, I liked it. I had kind of a tough early release drive, so to get to a putting position on my second shot, I was really happy with that.
Yeah, felt like a little win there.
Yeah. Both of us hit some branches there that we weren't thinking about. And both of us felt like our putts would have gone in if we hadn't hit them.
Kristen with the easy tapper.
Yeah, she's kind of getting in the zone of just playing really solid.
Also going to stare down our catch cam here.
Well, she was surprised. She was like, oh, hello.
Totally mental you are.
Good putt.
Thank you. Yeah, we were right on top of each other. I was like, all right, I'll let you go.
That's funny.
Making minis, as they say.
I think that may only apply on the drive. I'm not sure if it counts on the putting green.
Tell us what you think in the comments down below.
Yeah, absolutely. So hole 13 for this round, we're going to play downhill as a par 4. The name of the game here is keeping it low and controlled. You need to be in the fairway, and you need to get some distance off of this tee shot.
So we are playing, if you remember the first round, we're playing on it from a tee that's a little bit farther to the left. You can see the other tee pad. So we're a little bit farther back and dealing with a gap that's a little bit farther ahead.
Yeah, and a straighter angle, which actually makes this more difficult because you need the anhyzer shape if you're throwing this backhand.
I said left, I meant right. The other tee pad is to the right.
All the way.
Yeah. And we do see that come out. We're not playing the 2-meter rule because I'm the TD.
I was happy with that drive to just kind of stay hovering above the ground while working with that angle.
Yeah. It looks like everyone gets fairly clean off the tee, but these upshots are still tricky because of the distance, the ceiling, and then the downhill runaway.
Yeah.
Did you consider a roller or anything to stay away from that stuff?
No, I'm pretty comfortable with anhyzer backhand throws, and so that set up nicely to do one of those.
Sure.
So it was a pretty obvious choice for me.
It seems like all of y'all like that backhand turnover or hyzer, or I guess anhyzer or turnover hyzer flip.
Yeah.
Rather than going to the forehand as a go-to on a shot like this.
Yeah. I have played a lot more forehands, but I wasn't just feeling very comfortable with them on this day.
Sure. And Lori leaves a little meat on that bone. Ooh.
Yeah, great putt from Autumn.
Yeah.
She always, when she makes a big putt, she always walks up to it like, it's no big deal. It's fine. Just out here.
Yeah, you slow walk that in. Maybe you're intimidating your competitors a little bit. I like that swagger.
Yeah, she does. She does. I was intimidated. But I make it.
Yeah,
Woo!
you get the flex on them too, huh?
Yeah, I'm not quite as smooth and cool when I make a putt. Everyone knows how excited I am about it. I'm going to jog it out. I'm going to fist bump.
Yeah, that's a solid putt.
Yeah, I think so too. So Autumn and I both get birdies.
Yeah, that's good for both of you. Going into what's probably one of the easier holes to attack on this course. A little bit uphill, hyzer shape.
Yeah. Yeah, it's straightforward, which I think is not what all of these holes are. They usually have a couple of elements going on, but this one is just throw it up the hill to the basket.
Mm-hmm. Looks like that was released a little bit inside, gonna die probably 60 short.
Yeah, and I think, almost all of our drives in the first round were like that. It's a common mistake.
Yeah, if you push too straight here, you definitely get bogged down in some trees on the right side. So it makes sense to try to saw it off.
Yeah, you can see I went much wider and ended up hitting a little branch. Didn't affect my throw, but you can just see that there's possible danger there. Yeah, Parsley throws it pretty short, which was, I think, a little bit surprising because I feel as though she has a lot of power.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that all 4 players on this lead card are very experienced on this course. They've been to tournaments here, they've played it casually, and everyone, kind of grew up playing in the woods. That's the nature of East Coast, Mid-Atlantic golf.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like that run. That was coming in right at the basket without a whole lot of speed. Just good, safe run.
Yeah, I think you see all 3 of them throw their upshots with a lot of anhyzer or hyzer angle, which is smart on this downhill approach. Yay!
What's up? Again, you're gonna let everybody know about it.
I believe I'm telling the cameraman. Is that a rewind? Is that a Gatekeeper rewind? And it is! It is!
Oh, show it to me again.
Yeah, I was like, I want that rewind!
Yeah, that's a great putt. Just dumping it in there.
I feel as though very unlike me, because we've seen me just lay up putts a lot, and here just something in me was like, yeah, you could just try it. It's okay. Like, you could just try it. So...
And I really like that you can see the obvious like support and enthusiasm from the rest of your card too.
Oh yeah, we were all having a great time together. There's a random biker in the background.
Sure. Yeah, Seneca Creek State Park. The disc golf course is kind of tucked in the back. It's about the only thing going on back here, but there's also some mountain bike trails. I know there's a lot of hikers and such. There's a lake, picnic areas, just a really great park, and we're lucky to have, a 27-hole course inside of it.
Mm-hmm. So now hole 15, we're going uphill through there. There's that little gap, which you kind of have to throw through.
And you're going to kind of get trapped at the second level there, huh?
Yeah, but on this one, with the challenge of going uphill, I'm just happy to get through the gap. Autumn had fun commenting on their skip shot there.
And Parsley leaves a little high, but gets a good bit of distance out of there.
Yeah.
Again, this is a par 4, so...
That was a great drive. You're
Yeah.
not dealing with the low ceiling right away, so I think throwing it high actually is a great idea.
For sure.
And I think that's a good shot from Lori as well. Like, she's, maybe under a small tree, but she got far.
Yeah. And look at this shot. She's cruising up beyond the basket. That'll be inside the circle comebacker for Autumn's birdie.
Yeah, and we've seen her make some really good putts so far in this round, so it's totally within possibility.
And you do a lot better speed control than the previous round, giving yourself a chance at the bird as well.
Yeah, still I think a little bit much. Trying to account for the uphill maybe more than I need to.
Yeah, and you can kind of see the luxury of those good drives that Lori and Parsley threw. They get to throw putters on their approach shot instead of drivers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, of course.
Very nice
Yep.
there.
And the casual walk up. So I'm a little high. I'm a little bummed about it, but I'm hitting the basket, so it's only a minor adjustment to get it right.
Yeah, and that putt wasn't a gimme. You made up for it on the last hole. Lori dead center. I really like that.
Yeah. I mean, she had to make that after kind of flubbing the upshot with how close she and Parsley are.
Yeah,
in
you could
score.
you could see the disgust as she threw that. And very nice. So we got 3 threes and a 4. That's kind of what you expect on that hole. So we'll continue with a pretty tight margin here going into hole 16. We saw this the first time around. It's a downhill par 3, and you'd like to get something over to the right and let it glide for a while before finishing.
Yeah. Commonly, though, you do end up fading out to the left where there are quite a few trees that you then have to maneuver around, and it can be quite challenging. I think Autumn does a nice job of staying out wide like that. So even though she fades into the left, she doesn't make it into that patch of trees.
Yeah, she got most of the distance too. Now she'll have, maybe the tough choice of what to do. And Parsley,
She goes, oh, where is she?
I
there
believe
she is. Okay.
She hit the tree about 30 feet short.
Yeah, which was good. It looked like she really had pumped that disc, and it might have gone too far, but the angle on it was great.
Yeah.
And this is really nice from Lori as well. I like how it's moving much slower.
Oh!
Yeah, it goes too far, but it did look like it was moving much slower than some of the
Yeah.
other throws we saw.
I had actually seen Lori and her caddy out here the day before, getting some practice in. I got to imagine that she's thrown exactly that disc on this hole before, and put it to good use there. For her comeback birdie.
Just not enough.
You can see her kind of extracting herself from the shoal.
Mm-hmm.
And you're about level with the basket.
Yeah. This is where it's starting to get to me, I think, at this point, that I've had a lot of long putts and not many of them have gone in, which I think, if I was being realistic, should not be a thing that was bothering me.
Yeah.
But I think this is kind of the point when I start to get frustrated and I wish I was making these putts.
And I guess we talked a little bit during the first round about this being a tournament right after Amateur Worlds for you. Mm-hmm. So, maybe there's a little bit of mental fatigue.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've never played a week-long tournament before. And it turns out that disc golf makes your brain mush.
Yeah, it's always surprising to me how much time and effort we spend on the physical parts of the game, thinking about how to drive better and how to putt better. But, the most attention we ever give to like the mental side is by thinking about game planning and training your brain to be able to focus and stay in it throughout a full round or a full day of golf is just as important.
Yeah, it's really challenging. Oh, that's a beautiful drive from Parsley. She gets the angle right to get through that kind of funky gap and lands on the hill, which is just such an advantage.
Yeah, and we saw Lori throw this really well last time.
Mm-hmm. Looks like she goes too high and comes down in that middle area, which is kind of a funnel, common place to end up.
And
yeah, so you can
early
see
release.
Yeah, I've become more frustrated. I know that we're almost done.
It looks like you got some commitment issues here, huh?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a get me out there shot.
Yeah, it's fine, but you don't want to have to, settle for fine. I think that's a great upshot.
Yeah, from where she was, definitely long. You can see that there was a little bit of a headwind influence there that might have popped her up.
Yeah. The challenge with landing down in that little valley is that it becomes much harder to then get all the way up the hill and right to the basket. But we saw both Lori and Autumn do that really well.
Right.
Yeah, and I give it a shot because we're almost done. I might as well try.
And it's an uphill run. It's pretty safe, huh?
Exactly.
And Lori's in for her 3. That's going to keep that margin at 2 going into the final hole. It's a par 4, a little tough. And look at this. Maybe we getting some wrestling moves. Autumn has a mean people's elbow from what I understand. So that stool better do the job the first time.
Yeah. Watch out for Parsley, though.
So
She'll fight you.
So our margin's at 2 going into that final hole for Parsley.
Yeah, Parsley's up 2.
And as far as we know, Autumn kind of has that 3rd place spot locked down unless there's something coming from the chase card. And this is kind of going to be on the level the entire way. Low ceiling off the tee to deal with between some cedars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, my goal is always to first make it between those trees and out there, and then deal with what comes after.
Right. Little bit of flip there, but just fine in the middle.
That's good.
That should give her an Anheuser approach. And I wonder if Lori's thinking of trying to do something special here. Like, she's giving herself a chance.
Yeah, I mean, she gets out there. I think maybe has a little bit better angle or footing than Parsley, but it's a matter of capitalizing on that upshot, really, on this hole.
Yeah, Kristen's still in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna leave that right, huh?
Yeah.
You wanted to make the gap. Do you feel like you approached that okay, or did you psych yourself out about it?
Yeah, I think that I was trying to correct from the previous hole where I threw the same disc but had an early release. So there you saw me released later. So I'm not really focusing on the right things. I need to focus on one hole at a time.
As Autumn throws a good upshot.
So I'm making mistakes. We should pay attention to other people. I'm going to keep making some mistakes here.
And Kristen actually puts that a little high right and gets knocked down early.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I was talking about. We see now Lori with a much more open shot.
Yeah.
To get to the basket.
If she throws this in, she gave it a chance. If she'd thrown that in, we're square.
Yeah. And so it's really just tiny adjustments from where Kristen and Lori, where their drives landed from each other, that ended up making quite a big difference.
Yeah, that's one of the subtleties of this course. 10 feet can be all the difference in the world. Mm-hmm. Kristen with a good upshot, but a little short.
Yeah, she still has to make a putt.
I like that we've got some drama here.
Yeah, coming in the stretch here. Now I'm just trying to finish. Because I've made a few just really silly mistakes. So I'm just trying to get to the basket and be done at this point.
And
nice.
That's Kristen for what should be the win.
Yeah. That's a great round. I mean, you can see she's just super solid, really consistent.
Yeah. 5 down is a solid score on this course.
I'm just missing the putt.
And here's Lori looking to cap off her round. She played very solidly. Glad we got to watch her in both rounds of this event.
Yeah, this was the first time I'd played with her, and it was really wonderful. She's a great player and was also just really fun to have on the card.
Yeah, and I know she's very involved in the Pittsburgh Flying Disc Society. She's been a TD of multiple events up there. They do a great job.
So she just misses that putt, but she's still solidly in second place. And she makes her tap in. A great round from Lori. And Autumn finishes up as well. Autumn's storyline, I think, is definitely just her ability to scramble was really impressive.
Yeah, you can definitely see how she got onto this card. Her putting and her scrambling ability really made it possible.
Mm-hmm. And I'm finishing up with +2. Just solid showing. I wish I'd been a little cleaner at the end, but I was overall pretty happy with how I played.
Yeah, it definitely seems like something to build on there.
Mm-hmm. Congrats to Parsley.
Yeah.
Two-time champion.
Two-time champion in the FPO division. We saw some good play from Margaret Sassaman and Laurie Troop in the previous videos. We'd love it if y'all checked them out. Subscribe to Gatekeeper Media. Again, we thank them. And thank you again to our sponsors, the Nova Women's Disc Golf Club, the Nova Disc Golf Association, and Rice Properties Group. Thanks to Seneca Creek State Park for hosting us, and Addie Stone for her co-TD work. And Prodigy Disc is the event sponsor.
And thanks, Gatekeeper.